And I've got to say, where are the journalists? Where are the journalists over the last 4 years? They have been tested on the veracity of their claims. They have been tested by YouTubers. They have also been tested by numerous authors that have done really well researched, deep diving books into the subject, and all credit to them for that. But journalists have been missing in action. And Harry and Meghan have been on the record through various interviews, through their docuseries, through Harry's book, through the latest CBS interview, with a lot of claims. And it would be helpful if some journalists actually checked the veracity of some of those claims, deep dived into some of those claims. Even a simple thing as checking a timeline raises inconsistencies that raise questions. Exploited. Now, these weren't the parents that are part of the parental network that is the initiative of Archwell. These are completely unrelated. They're just parents that have lost their children under tragic circumstances. And they said that that CBS interview actually, brought up a lot of hurt, a lot of grief, and a lot of anger. And so they expressed it in my comment section. And I thought about it and I thought, you know what? I'm going to make another video. I don't know if I'll ever make another one. It depends whether they do anything else that's really exploitive and makes claims that need to be checked, or present a timeline that I know is wrong. Now, first off, I want to show you the correlation between the Oprah Winfrey interview and also the CBS interview. Now, Jane Pauley actually made that correlation. She showed a clip from the Oprah Winfrey interview illustrating that.
Because I know how much loss he suffered, but I knew that if I didn't say it, that I would do it, and I just didn't want to be alive anymore.
You had an experience that connects you to these families, and I see you touch your husband's hand in just the way I knew that you would be looking after each other if I went places. But the connection that you have with people is they know you had suffered too, personally. Contemplating killing yourself is what suicidal ideation was. And I'm dancing around this because I can see you're uncomfortable with my even going there.
I understand why you are, though. I wasn't expecting it, but I understand why you are, because there is a through line, I think, and when you've been through...
Okay. Now, she was obviously very upset. He begged her not to talk like that. He promised that he would find solutions, and he asked her to be strong and hang on. Now, this is a confronting little part in his book where he says that he was thinking like an effing royal, and that they had the Centre Bali engagement that night at the Royal Albert Hall. And so that was where he was saying that his working royal side was kicking in, and he was thinking that we can't be late because then they'll blame it on her and they'll say she's a diva, sort of that sort of narrative, okay? Now, I looked up the Centre Bali occasion for Totem, which was a Cirque du Soleil performance at the Royal Albert Hall, was on the 16th of January 2019. So that is verified, okay? That's when it was. Now, the fact that he said, I was thinking like an effing royal, I would argue, Harry, that you were actually paying attention to your duty. You were paying attention to your obligation to other people. You were paying attention to the fact that if you cancelled it, you'd be letting a lot of people down, plus people that in good faith were going to contribute in a grand fashion to your charity Centre Bali. So it definitely was a consideration. However, if you believe that it was a true emergency, you would have acted. Now, that's just my opinion. My opinion is, and I could be wrong, and I'm not claiming that this is fact. Opinion is not fact. It is just opinion. I feel that anyone who felt that their loved one was in grave danger would have acted at that point. If, however, they thought that this was a little performative or maybe not quite as serious as made out, and that it was just a lot of upset, real upset, then maybe they would continue and offer to go to the Centre Bali performance by themselves and offer for the distressed person to stay home to rest and recover. But you wouldn't leave them alone, would you? you wouldn't leave them alone if you believed that it was a true emergency. And you can't claim ignorance for that because Harry had worked for the previous 7 years in the mental health area, and in particular in this area. He knew how to respond. He knew what was needed. He knew that you had to reach out for help immediately if it was a serious and plausible situation. He knew it. 7 years of training. But he suggested Megan stay home by herself and he'd go on to the occasion, whereupon she said, "Oh, no, I'll come. I don't want to be left home alone by myself." Okay, all right.